Hallo en welkom bij les 2 van week 7. Vandaag praten wij over ziek zijn. Ik heb de tissues al hier, kopje thee en wij gaan lekker oefenen. Jij hebt geoefend met het lichaam. And even though we're not going back there with me as such, I have here het lichaam, het plaatje van het lichaam. So if you want, and I encourage you, you can test yourself by pausing the video and name as many body parts as you can remember. All right, so dit is een goede oefening to stay in that practice en om lekker de lichaamsdelen te oefenen. That aside, we are going to talk about, wij gaan praten over ziek zijn, being sick. The two most common sentences that we use to express that we are sick is ik ben ziek, literally I'm sick, and ik voel me niet lekker. So I don't feel so good, okay? I don't feel good, I don't feel well. Yeah, that kind of thing. We know that lekker is yummy, so technically we say I don't feel so yummy. But we do use lekker quite a bit, and in this case as well. We don't, roll as we normally would, so we don't feel so good. Ik voel me niet lekker. A question that you can ask is in regards to pain. So, waar heb je pijn? Okay, so this is also where we can really focus on the body parts, and I want you to try and make as many sentences as you can. So if I ask you, waar heb jij pijn? Then you can respond in two sentences. You can either say, I have like a headache, or you can say, I have pain in my or on my blah, blah, blah. Okay, how do you know which one to use? Usually when it's a bigger body part, you can say it in one go, as in one word. For example, ik heb hoofdpijn, a headache. Ik heb buikpijn, tummy pain. Even this one, ik heb keelpijn. All right? But this hangs onto you. And so that's where we usually say like on it. So for example, ik kan zeggen, ik heb pijn aan mijn arm. You could say, ik heb armpijn, but for some reason we like to use the longer sentence as it actually is more relatable for us. So, ik heb pijn aan mijn arm. Ik heb pijn aan mijn voet. If it's a pain that's literally inside, so there's something achy or something not that quite right within the arm or within the foot, you replace aan with in. I mean, makes sense, right? So, ik heb pijn in mijn voet. Ik heb pijn in mijn arm. Okay, so those are the two types of sentences. I want you to pause here again and practice these sentences as you go through the body parts. If you still don't remember them, go and pick your body part list, je lichaamsdelenlijst, and try and make these sentences as you go. So pause the video and learn these. All right. Nu gaan we praten over pijn en ziek zijn. Okay, so just to express these, we can now say, where is the pain? Waar is de pijn? You can also say, waar heb je pijn? So where do you have the pain? Okay, where do you have your pain? Waar heb je pijn? Now, the two sentences that are next are, unless you already know these, new to you. So usually when we express hurt, we talk about lust. Het woordje lust is closest to translating to hurt. It's not one-on-one. It's a different way of referring to them, and we really use it a bit differently. But if we're talking about hurt, you can say that in Dutch with lust. And we say, where do you hurt of, kind of. So we use van as well. Then it translates to, waar heb jij last van? So where do you hurt? What's yeah, kind of like what's the matter as well, like what's going on. Waar heb je last van? And this is a bit more general. So it doesn't necessarily have to be pain. It could be anything that's bothering you. Like maybe you're nauseous, or maybe you're just not feeling well. Maybe you have the flu. So this is a general way of asking, like, where does it hurt? What's going on? Rather than just specifically pain. Just like in English, we can ask, what's the matter? We say, what is it on the hand? What's going on? We say, wat is er aan de hand? So wat is er aan de hand is a very popular sentence to refer back to what's the matter. We don't have a word for matter. We say aan de hand. The next three, you should be able to translate now, and I want you to give it a go. I have ear pain is ik heb oorpijn. I have a headache is ik heb hoofdpijn. Notice we don't say the a. We just direct straight away, bang, hoofdpijn. I have pain in my foot. Ik heb pijn in mijn voet of aan mijn voet. Again, difference. Is it on the surface or inside? Heel goed. That already gives us a lot of confidence and expressions to talk about being sick. Now, let's learn some more. So I've written down 15 sentences that are very helpful to talk about being sick. In the next lesson, we really talk about going to the doctors and the pharmacy. So this is, and try and talk a bit more about conversations while we now build up our sentences. It's really a build up. We know our body parts now. We know, talk about learning sentences about being sick. And with our conversational skills that we already know, we can now focus on going to the doctors and the pharmacy in our third lesson. Okay. These sentences about being sick can be a bit tricky because we think about talking about feeling sick, especially using the word feeling, a tiny bit different. Okay, so this needs extra focus and attention from you. Just like you need to give yourself extra focus and attention if you are sick. So keep that in mind. All right. It's not necessarily a comparison. It's really a new way of thinking about going to talk about and express yourself in Dutch. Okay, they're both languages, but they do need a different approach as such. So keep an open mind. All right, we know feeling from our last lesson, that is voel. Okay, but if we want to express a feeling, we need to add a reflection word. So I myself feel sick. We have to add that myself, which is me, which is me. So niet ik me voel ziek, maar ik voel me ziek. Obviously, you can still go back to ik ben ziek. All right, ik voel me ziek, which then also goes back to ik voel me niet lekker, which is this one. Ik voel me niet zo lekker. Ik voel me niet zo goed. Okay? So we can keep it to goed as well. Lekker is probably more popular, so keep that in mind as well. Okay, get well soon. It's a way of saying that you hope the person feels better soon. Okay, that better is what we're going to work with and is your like trigger word. Better in Dutch is beter, and we say beterschap. Okay, beterschap is your perfect word to say when you want someone to get better soon. The other word is sterkte, which is wishing someone lots of strength. This can also be used when, for example, somebody has passed or is not sick but just needs strength from you. So dan zeg je sterkte. Okay. Fever. Okay, that is a tricky one. Not similar, but you can think of the word accord, like you need a cord, or maybe like the temperature stick can hang onto a cord or something like it. to relate to the word fever in Dutch. Ik heb koorts. Just like a headache, we don't have to translate that A here. We can just say, ik heb koorts. This is fever, de koorts. All right, I need is sometimes translated as moeten. So, for example, ik moet een paracetamol. Officially, we want to translate need with I have a need. So I have a need for paracetamol. I need is not a literal translation in Dutch. So we go, ik heb paracetamol nodig. Nodig is our word for need, but the need rather than I need. Okay, this word can be Dutchified. Everything in tion ends in T in Dutch or T. So try and translate this for me. Ik heb een infectie. Done. All right. These are below each other for a very specific reason. I have a cold means you're nearing a flu, and I am cold is like you've got the shivers. Okay, you're not warm. In Dutch, this is the other way around. Okay, so we are experiencing having a cold. Okay, which is ik ben verkouden. So in the process of having a cold, verkouden. And we are that way, like our body is in a cold. But when you are feeling cold, we are not like the body is cold, but we are experiencing it. And we use have rather than am. So this is one of the trickiest bits. And I see that goes wrong most of the time. So we don't say ik ben koud, because then you say like I'm cold, as in you're a cold person. So that is the difference, is what you are as a person or what you experience. So ik heb het koud. Also note that we say I have it cold. We need to refer to the object of the reason why we are cold, sort of. Rather than going into like, oh my God, like all of this, see if you can just remember it as a sentence. Ik heb het koud. And the more you say it, I mean, the temperatures do change a lot. So you can work on, oh, ik heb het warm vandaag. Ik heb het heet vandaag. Ik heb het koud vandaag. Okay? So see if you can, during this week, say these sentences a bit more as you go along with the weather. So ik heb het warm of ik heb het heet is warm and hot. So they're both here depending on how you want to express yourself. Tired, we think of a tiring cow and how they express themselves, what sound they make. And you say, ik ben moe. Ik ben mooi is something different. That means I'm beautiful. So really say the oe here rather than oi. Okay? Ik ben moe is I'm tired. I'm nauseous. Okay, nauseous. For us, again, a very difficult or different word rather than difficult. It's kind of a hit or miss with being nauseous, right? A hit or miss in the sense that we hope that we don't throw up because of feeling nauseous. So we do translate this one with the ben. I am, ik ben. And think about the hit and miss. Misselijk. Okay, I am nauseous. Ik ben misselijk. My arm is broken. Broken is something in the past tense because it already happened. And usually you will see ge in front of the thing. So that is literally what we want to say. Mijn arm is gebroken. Okay. When you're having the flu, okay, you're sick, je bent ziek, je hebt the flu. The flu means that you don't have a grip on your regular life. You usually have to adjust your life a little bit to get over the flu. Grip is kind of your cue word for flu, and it is griep. Ik heb de griep. Other than that, a literal sentence translation. Throwing up. Okay, so throwing up is that you give your body, je lichaam, over to the forces and just let it happen. I say give over because that is what we say. What is to give? Geven. Over is over. And there we go. Ik ben aan het overgeven. So I changed the sentence into it because we don't have the throwing, doesn't exist. But if we're doing it at the moment, we translate that with aan het. Okay? So ik ben aan het overgeven. And the last one, we can translate this with moet. And doctor is doctor. So what do you get? Ik moet naar de dokter. Those are our sentences. You can again pause this video, go over the sentences as you go along and work on your pronunciation. Also, saying them out loud really helps with remembering as well. And refer back to the vocabulary list to test yourself and quiz yourself in a fun way. All right, let's practice some listening. We gaan luisteren. En ik heb 4 vragen voor jou. Vraag 1. Wat is er aan de hand met Irma? Don't know. What's the matter? Wat heeft Irma nodig? So, need. Wat gaat Do doen? En is Irma naar de dokter gegaan? So, did she go or not? So, that's more of a yes or no question. Okay? So, these 4 questions need to be answered. I'll have you listen to the audio and then we'll go and answer these questions. Let's go. Hey Irma, hoe gaat het?
Nou, niet zo goed toch? Ik ben ziek.
Oh nee, wat vervelend. Waar heb je last van?
Heel erg hoofdpijn.
Ah, dat is niet best. Heb je ook koorts?
Ja, dat ook. En ik ben ook aan het overgeven.
Ach, wat erg. Kan ik iets voor je doen?
Ik heb paracetamol nodig. Kan je dat voor mij halen?
Natuurlijk. Ik ga meteen even naar de drogist. En ik haal ook meteen wat brood en melk. Dat helpt vast. Ben je al naar de dokter gegaan?
Nee, nog niet. Misschien als de pijn erger wordt.
Oké dan. Ik kom zo terug. Beterschap.
Dankjewel.
Okay, if you need to listen to it again, please now go backwards, listen to it again to see if you heard everything that you needed to. And then we'll go to the answers. But if you need to listen more, you can do so too. I just encourage you to do that before we go to the answers, to really get used to you listening. All right. Vraag 1. Wat is er aan de hand met Irma? Let's find out. So, Irma is ziek. Okay, Irma is ziek. Irma heeft hele erge hoofdpijn. Irma heeft ook koorts en is aan het overgeven. Oké, ze is ziek, ze heeft hoofdpijn, ze heeft koorts en ze is aan het overgeven. Oké, wat heeft Irma nodig? What does she need? Find out. Ik heb paracetamol nodig. Kan je dat voor mij halen? Dus Irma heeft paracetamol nodig. Wat gaat Do doen? De paracetamol halen. Maar Do gaat meteen even naar de drogist voor de paracetamol. Oké. Do gaat ook naar de supermarkt om brood en melk te kopen. Oké. Do koopt brood en melk bij de supermarkt. Alright. En is Irma naar de dokter gegaan? So did she already go to the doctor? Hier, ben je al naar de dokter gegaan? Nee, nog niet. Irma is nog niet naar de dokter gegaan. Oké? Misschien als de pijn erger wordt. Which is maybe if the pain gets worse. And again, she ends with beterschap. All right, get well soon. Those were the answers to the listening exercise. 2 more things to do because we've listened, we hebben geluisterd, and now it's up to you. Jij mag praten, okay? First, it is just filling out the answers that you might want to say. I will put in some answers as we go along. But again, pauzeer de video en doe het gesprek, the conversation, eerst zelf. Alright, try it yourself first, then we'll run through it. And I encourage you this because then you have practiced it on your own and you will practice with me, so that's a double whammy practice. Alright, de opdracht. Jij bent ziek. Jouw vriend, just a friend or partner, Sam, komt op bezoek. Op bezoek is for a visit, okay? On a visit. Wat zeg jij? Sam zegt jouw naam. Hoi Joyce, for example. En jij bent ik, so you're yourself, you're I. Okay, go through it yourself. Pause the video and then we'll run through it. Okay, so in this case, if I'm being ik, I would probably say, hoi Sam. En Sam zegt, hoe gaat het? En dan kan ik zeggen, niet zo goed. And see if this is similar to what you've written down. Ik ben ziek. Of ik voel me niet lekker. Dan zegt Sam, waar heb je last van? Like, where are you hurting? This could be anything that you want. So, for example, ik kan zeggen, ik heb buikpijn en ik ben misselijk. Okay? So, I have a tummy ache and I'm nauseous. Dan vraagt Sam, heb je ook koorts? Do you also have a fever? En ik zeg, nee, ik heb geen koorts. So I don't have a fever. Dan vraagt Sam, wat heb je nodig? What do you need? You could say, ik heb niets nodig. If you don't need anything. Of je kan zeggen, ik heb medicijnen nodig voor mijn buik. Ik heb cola nodig voor mijn misselijkheid. So this is the act of like the nausea, right? So there's nausea, misselijkheid, and nauseous, which is misselijk. And actually cola really helps for nauseous. I've tried that myself. En dan gaat Sam eindigen met beterschap. So he's wishing you well. I hope that you will focus on the word order here as well, because I know it's a bit tricky. But these are essentially easy sentences with the fact that ik ben, ik voel, very short sentences, okay? So I have a need for medicine. So the object needs to go in the middle. So niet ik heb nodig medicijnen, maar ik heb medicijnen nodig for my tummy. I have a need for cola for my nauseousness. There you go. All right, goed gedaan. Laatste opdracht. Jij bent ziek. Jij kan niet werken. Jij belt naar jouw manager en vertelt dat jij ziek bent. Wat zeg je? You're sick, you cannot work, you call to your manager and tell him or her that you are sick. What do you say? Cover. Praat met het werk. Vertel wat er aan de hand is en bedenk wat de manager zegt. So this is kind of like working on a two-way conversation, right? So what do you say? What does the manager say? So similar to this, except now you're going to pretend that you call your manager and have a conversation there. Again, try and write these sentences as well. Try it yourself first. Then we go to a possible example conversation with me. And I encourage you to write that down as well, just for practice purposes. So pauzeer de video. En dan gaan we nu een gesprek doen. Alright? Cool. So jij belt. De manager neemt de telefoon op. En zegt misschien met haar. En dan zeg jij, hoi, met Joyce. Because we have to say met, like with Joyce, as we answer the phone. Met Joyce. Ik kan vandaag niet komen werken, want ik ben ziek. Oké. Oh, wat vervelend. How unfortunate. Waar heb je last van? Is haar asking. Ik heb migraine, for example. Ik kan niets doen en ik word misselijk als ik opsta. Okay, so I have migraine, I can't do anything, and I get nauseous if I stand up, for example. Oh, dat klinkt niet goed. Rust maar lekker uit vandaag. Kan ik iets voor jou doen? Oh, that doesn't sound good. Take a good rest today, right? Just rest out. Like, have a good rest, heal yourself. Can I do something for you? Nee, dankjewel. Ik hoop veel te kunnen slapen. Right? Of ik wil veel slapen. Oké, dat is goed. Laat mij weten als je iets nodig hebt. En wanneer je weer kan werken. Good. Let me know if you need something. So you have a need for something. And when you can work again. Dat zal ik doen. Tot snel. And then Hart will obviously say beterschap. Okay? So I will do that. See you soon. Get well soon. Okay? Dat is de conversatie. Obviously, this can be in many multiple ways done. We will practice this in our call. And for now, if you do have a question, please let me know so we can address it as well in our calls together. Or yeah, in general, if you are stuck or want to know how you say certain things. But this is just an example. Dit is een voorbeeld of how a conversation could go. Yeah, all right. Heel goed gedaan. Well done for finishing this lesson. And I'll see you in the last lesson of week 7. So ik zie je in de laatste les van week 7. En voor nu wens ik jou een hele fijne dag. En zie ik jou de volgende keer. Doei!